I'm going to be talking about unconventional systems. This is something I've brought up a number of times over the last few videos, but I've never really gone into too much detail. So in this video, I'm going to be going over what it is, how to get it, how best to use it, and why you should be using it. Unconventional Systems is a personal space trait. With this trait equipped, anytime you use a control ability, it'll lower the cooldown of your universal consoles by 7%. Back in the day, this was generally only used on science builds, because they're very reliant on the power of their universal consoles. However, these days, that's true for pretty much every kind of build. Another reason this used to only be used on science builds is because they could load up on control abilities a lot easier. But that's why these days we're trying to pack as many control abilities as possible onto pretty much any kind of build. The click abilities on your universal consoles can be very powerful weapons, so the more you lower those cooldowns, the faster you can get those consoles back up. Now, this trait's tooltip implies that it triggers off of any control ability, but that's not exactly true. It actually only triggers off of certain control abilities, the list of which can be found on its STO wiki page. There are 6 Science Officer abilities that will trigger it: Gravity Well, Gem Sensors, Photonic Shockwave, Scramble Sensors, Tractor Beam, and Tractor Beam Repulsors. 2 Engineering abilities: Eject Warp Plasma and Emit Unstable Warp Bubble. 3 Temporal abilities: Chronometric Inversion Field, Heisenberg Amplifier, and Timeline Collapse. And the last 2 abilities are from Intel: Viral Impulse Burst, and Electromagnetic Pulse Probe. Since the only specializations that have abilities that trigger this trait are Temporal and Intel, this gives ships with either of those specialization seedings a bit of an advantage. To demonstrate this, I'll be using the new Terran Cygnus Battlecruiser, which is a Temporal ship. Honestly, the Adamant probably would have been a better choice because it has both Temporal and Intel seeding, but this is the only one of the new Terran ships I haven't done anything with yet. And I didn't want to do a full build video with it because it wouldn't be that much different than what I did with the Lexington, because how I've set this up is pretty standard for most of my beam overload builds. Here I am in the middle of a patrol. Most of my consoles are on cooldown, so let's watch as my Unconventional Systems triggers lower these cooldowns thanks to that trait. Right now I only have these 4 equipped. You can see those cooldowns ticking lower as I activate these abilities. That, activate that. Oh, those have it. Give them a second, they gotta go through their active timers before they go on cooldown. There, those 2 are on cooldown. And that shortened when I activated Tractor Beam. And again, when I activated, what is that, Heisenberg, whatever. So yeah, that is that trait in action. Let's finish blowing up these Kazon, and then we'll get back to the rest of the video. Now, the last thing to cover is how to get this personal trait. Unconventional Systems is an old lockbox personal trait, meaning these days it comes from the Infinity lockboxes, but it doesn't bind on pickup, so it can also be found on the exchange. As of this recording, it seems to be selling for around between 45 to 55 million EC. Now, I know that's not a small amount of EC, but it is a doable grind without spending any real money. So yeah, that is Unconventional Systems. Like I said, it is a fantastic little personal trait that can do a lot to help you with your ship's performance. Anyway, if you found this guide helpful, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. My name's Stu, and I will see you guys next time.